Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna.
Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna.
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण everyone. So today is Saturday, 6th of December, 6th of January 2024. And it is Pausha Masa or Narayana Masa, Krishna Paksham, and Dasimi Tithi. So there are no events today. So tomorrow we have Sapala Ekadasi, fasting from grains, beans, and cereals. We need to prepare for that one. So we shall quickly enter into Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Sutta Goswami is narrating to the Savanakadi sages and all the great sages. They are coming nearer to Ganges river where Parikshit Maharaj was sitting for Prayopavesha. And we have been reading those descriptions of each and every sage. Tatropajaguhu bhunam punana mahanubhava munaya sasishyaha prayena tiddapi gama padeshaihi swayamhi tiddhani punanti santaha. So on the name of pilgrimage, they are all coming to the place along with their disciples. They are competent enough to sanctify the places, even the Tirthas. Swayam hi Tirthani Punanti Santaha, they are the personified Tirthas. So the great sages' names they have been mentioning by Sutta Goswami. Atrihi Vasishtascha Chavana Saradvan Aristanemihi Bhugurangiraksha Parashuragadi Sutotarama Utajja Indra Pramada Idmavaho Medatiti Devala Arstisheno Bharadwajo Gautamaha Pipaladaha Maitre Aurvaha Kavashaha Kumbhayonihi Dvaipayuno Bhagavan Naradasha. So very beautiful descriptions just by remembering these names. Yesham Samsmaranat Pumsam Sadhya Sudhyantve Gruhaha Kim Punadarshna Sparsha Pada Saucha Asanadivihi. Just by remembering, all our homes and ourselves will be purified just by remembering these names. So we are going to continue these names once again. Atrihi Vasishta Chavanaha Sharadvan Aristanemihi Bhrugu Angirasha Parashara Gadisuta the Vishwamitra, and then Angira Parashurama Utatya Indra Pramada Idmavahu Medatiti Devala Arishtasena Bharadwaja Gautama Pippalada Maitreya Aurva Kavasha Kumbhayoni Dvaipayana and the great personality Narada. So purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So in this, yesterday we have seen until Gadi Sutta. So we shall continue from Angira. Okay, so so Angira, he is one of the 6 mental sons of Brahma and the father of Brihaspati, the great learned priest of the demigods in the heavenly planets. He was born of the semen of Brahmaji, given to a cinder of fire. Udatya and Samavatta are his sons. Samvatta. It is said that he is still performing austerity and chanting the holy name of the Lord at a place known as Alok, Alokananda on the banks of the Ganges. And the next personality is the Parashurama. So in the Parashurama, in the 1.9.6, so this is also mentioned here. This is Parashurama is about this one, or Renukasuta. He is the son of Maharaja Maharshi Jamadagni and Srimati Renuka. Thus, he is also known as Renukasuta. He is one of the powerful incarnations of God, and he killed the Kshatriya community as a whole 21 times. With the blood of Kshatriyas, he pleased the souls of his forefathers. Later on, he underwent severe penances at the Mahendra Parvata. After taking the whole earth from the Kshatriyas, he gave it in charity to Kashyapa Muni. Parashuram instructed the Dhanurveda, or the science of fighting, to Dronacharya because he happened to be a Brahmana, and he was present during the coronation of Maharaja Yudhishthira, and he celebrated the function along with other great rishis. Parashurama is so old that he met both Rama and Krishna at different times. He fought with Rama, but he accepted Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. He also praised Arjuna when he saw him with Krishna. When Bhishma refused to marry Amba, who wanted him to become her husband, Amba met Parashurama, and by her request only, he asked Bhishma Deva to accept her as his wife. Bhishma refused to obey his order, although he was one of the spiritual masters of Bhishma Deva. Parashurama fought with Bhishma Deva when Bhishma neglected his warning. Both of them fought very severely, and at last, Parashurama was pleased with Bhishma and gave him the benediction of becoming the greatest fighter in the world. That is about Parashurama. And next one is the Utatya, one of the three sons of Maharshi Angera. He was the spiritual master of Maharaja Mandhata. He married Bhadra, the daughter of Soma or Moon. Varuna kidnapped his wife Bhadra, and to retaliate the offense of the god of water, he drank all the water of the world. And then Medatithi, an old sage of yore, an assembly member of the heavenly king Indradeva. His son was Kanva Muni, who brought up Shakuntala in the forest. He was promoted to the heavenly planet by strictly following the principles of retired life, Vanaprastha. And then Devala, a great authority like Narada Muni and Vyasadeva. His good name is on the list of authorities mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. When Arjuna acknowledged Lord Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead, he met Maharaja Yudhishthira after the battle of Kurukshetra, and he was the elder brother of Daumya, the priest of Pandava family. Like Kshatriyas, he also allowed his daughter to select her own husband in a Swayamvara meeting, and at that ceremony, all the bachelor sons of the rishis were invited. According to some, he is not Asita Devala. Next personality, Bharadwaja. So about the Bharadwaja, so here Bharadwaja is one of the 7 great rishis and was present at the time of birth ceremony of Arjuna. The powerful rishi sometimes undertook severe penances on the shores of the Ganges, and his ashrama is still celebrated at Prayagadhama. It is learned that this rishi, while taking bath in the Ganges, happened to meet Grutachi. one of the beautiful society girls of heaven, and thus he discharged semen, which was kept and preserved in an earthen pot, and from which Drona was born. So Dronacharya is the son of Bharadwaja Muni. Others say that Bharadwaja, the father of Drona, is a different person from Maharshi Bharadwaja. He was a great devotee of Brahma. Once he approached Dronacharya and requested him to stop the battle of Kurukshetra. That is about Bharadwaja Rishi. And then Gautama, one of the 7 great sages of the universe. Saradvan Gautama was one of his sons persons in the Gautama Gotra or dynasty today, or either his family descendants or in his disciplic succession. The Brahmanas who profess Gautama Gotra are generally family descendants, and the Kshatriyas and Vaishyas who profess Gautama Gotra are all in the line of his disciplic succession. He was the husband of the famous Ahalya, who turned into stone when Indradeva, the king of heaven, molested her. Ahalya was delivered by Lord Ramachandra. Gautama was the grandfather of Krupacharya, one of the heroes of the battle of Kurukshetra. And then Maitreya Rishi. A great rishi of yore, he was the spiritual master of Vidura and a great religious authority. He advised Dhritarashtra to keep good relations with the Pandavas. Duryodhana disagreed and thus was cursed by him. He met Vyasadeva and had religious discourses with him. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So these are all great personalities having few descriptions, but when we read Mahabharata, Ramayana and the Puranas, then we will come to know about their pastimes, how they have been. So here Prabhupada has given the summary of all these great sages. I request dear devotees, just if you go through these personalities once again, it will be very wonderful. So likewise, Suta Goswami is mentioning all the great sages' names who are all coming to the place where Maharaja Parikshit is doing Prayopavesha. So there, Atrihi Vasishtas Chavana Saradvan Aristanemihi Bhugurangiraksha Parashuro Bhadisudo Atarama Udacha Indra Pramada Idmavaho Medati Devala Archishenu Bharadvajo Gautamaha Pipaladaha Maitri Aurvaha Kavashaha Kumbhayonihi Dvaipayunu Bhagavan Naradasha. So that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. So we shall quickly enter into Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today it is letter to Pradyumna, November 27th, 1969, London. Can I request any dear devotees to read this letter? It is a bit long letter.
I have a go, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji, please.
Who wants to go first? Hare Krishna. My dear Pradyumna, please accept my blessing. I beg to acknowledge receipt of your letter dated November the 20th, 1969, and I have noted the contents. Prior to this, I received one letter from Arudhati explaining why things were delayed, and you have also kindly explained it. So everything by Krishna's grace is all right. Regarding your dismissal from the job, I think it is Krishna's indication that you are not meant for such kind of service. Now you can freely and completely engage yourself in Krishna's service, as he has very kindly allotted to you in the matter of editing, transliterating and helping your wife in composing. This is sufficient engagement for you. Besides that, as you have now improved in speaking, you can do nice speaking work. I think you must have improved in that way because you are going through so many transcendental literatures. So you must have your ideas and philosophy notions in the matter of Krishna consciousness. So it is to be great advantage if you get occasion speaking engagements in various schools, colleges, universities, provided they pay for it. In your country, if somebody accepts a service free of charges or at lower rates, he is considered to be third class. So although we are prepared to render our services free of charges, still for the prestige of the society, we must charge. And if you get some scholarship, stipend from the scholarship stipend from the foundations, that will be a great achievement, not for the money, but for the foundation, with gradually recognizing what the valuable service we are rendering to the human society. The next point is centralizing our publication department in one place. Krishna has given us now a nice press in Boston, and you are now free from your job. So it will be very nice if you and your wife move to Boston conveniently. As you have written that Brahmananda has almost agreed to pay for the machine, so you have no anxiety. We have already discussed about purchasing another machine. So far as Shyama Dasi is concerned, I do not know how it will be possible for her to live alone without her husband. I think her husband also requires her help in so many ways. So I am not very much sure about Shyama Dasi's moving to Boston. But you and Arundhati can do it immediately. I am also going there. So we shall sit down together and call into Hayagriva and Shyama Dasi to hold a nice meeting of all the editors, printers, etc. We will chalk out a nice program so that our work may go on very smoothly without any impediments. And surely Krishna will help us. So far as I am concerned, I would have been very glad to stay with the editors and press workers in my presence. But the only consideration is the climatic influence. Now, so far as your composition work is concerned, it is very, very nicely done. Save and except there are some typographical misplacements of letters. I see there are some marginal marks, and I think these marking the mistakes anyway. Anyway, the composition is first class, and the transliteration is also very nice. If you can maintain this standard of composing and transliteration, that will be quite sufficient for my satisfaction. I see that your letter was posted sometime on the 20th of November. You sent it by special delivery airmail. But unfortunately, I received it only today, and the envelope was torn out. Anyway, although it was delayed, I have got it now, and I shall go through it critically and let you know in my next letter about my criticism on it. Thank you very much for your letter, and be blessed by Krishna. Offer my blessings to Srimati Arundhati. She is very nice girl, sincere servant of Krishna, and I shall always pray for her advancement in Krishna consciousness. I hope this will meet both of you in good health. Your ever well-wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. Any takeaway points, Mataji, from this letter?
Yeah, yes. He's expressing his sympathy of this Prabhu losing his job, but he thinks it's Krishna's mercy because Krishna is showing a way forward so that he can actually move on in Krishna conscious service. And yes, if we can be fully engaged in that sense in Krishna conscious service. And he's talking about how Krishna has arranged it for him to be given a position of editing, translating, and helping his wife to compose books, which is very dear to Prabhupada and Krishna, of course. So he's really pleased in that sense. And he says it's not his doing that he lost his job, it's Krishna's arrangement. Okay, and he said that's enough for him because it's quite a lot to keep him engaged fully. Yes, and he mentioned about preaching, how important it is. So he should take up Krishna consciousness and preach the word to the public. Yeah. Yes, and he actually says where pointed where he should actually focus his preaching in various schools, colleges, and universities, which is a good start to introduce youngsters into the movement. And he said about how important it is. Some people would accept these preaching for nothing, but he would like to see that they pay he said about some people would be accepting free of charge, but he would like to see that they actually offer some Lakshmi for the service. And so not for the money. What does he mean there? And if you some scholarships there. Yeah, so he's pointing out how important it is if we can get some scholarship movement, and it's not for the money, but this will help improve the service in the Krishna conscious service in human society. Sorry, it's a long letter to remember everything. I spread. Oh yes, he mentioned about how it's good if you can centralize the press in one place, and by moving to Boston, it will be very convenient for everything to function well that way. So, okay, he also mentioned buying another machine. And another machine, yeah. Live alone without a husband. Yeah, he's saying the husband and wife should get together and work together to make it work, to make it possible to grow and get better. And he mentioned about how he is willing to meet up with a group to make it possible. Climatic influence, what does that? I have been very okay. So what else? Composing, he stressed about importance, and the typing, maybe is the letters needing replacing. He said about how this Prabhu has improved so much by speaking and reading. It has helped him to become real fluent and more easy to speak and understand. Oh, he mentioned about, composing, if you maintain this standard of composing and translating, quite sufficient for my satisfaction. I see your letter. Oh, he mentioned about the letter posted and he received it late and it was torn. So, but anyway, he got it and he was pleased. Yeah, and he showered blessing on him to say how well he wish him well and that he improve, and he was really pleased. And he mentioned about his is that his wife Arudhati. She's a very nice girl, and both of them are good servants for Krishna consciousness. Oh, Hare Krishna, and wish them well. That's all I could think of. Sorry, it's a long letter to recall.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Mataji, for reading this long letter. It is very beautiful points Prabhupada is mentioning about. Do not worry about the material job. So Krishna's will, so that is the dismissal of his job from his material job. And he has got so many things to do in Krishna consciousness, like philosophical stuff, and then this composing and editing and so many other ways. And also Prabhupada another suggesting, so far Pradyumna and Shyamadasi were working in that place, in one place, and later on, if he was moving to Boston, and also if the question was whether Shyamadasi is also moving to Boston. So, but Shyamadasi is not sure there. So, and then Arundhati and Pradyumna were given instructions to move to Boston. And this is kind of just adjustments from the Krishna consciousness movement's perspective. And Prabhupada is mentioned, the essence is the preaching work, and to publish the books, editing, and transliterating, and composing. So all these things take the high priority. Okay, so this is all part of the Prabhupada's meeting, and then find the plan and write and Prabhupada's deep reading of that letter to give more feedback on that letter. So these are takeaway points for me as well. Thank you so much, Mataji. And from the announcements point of view, so today afternoon we have got Krishna Club, and today evening we have Bhagavad Gita session at 7 p.m. And Krishna Club for the children, the format is a little changed. So there it is similar to the adults session, adults Bhagavad Gita session. They're also going to recite the verses and reading translations and kirtan and then Mangalacharan prayers. That is children's. So their format is also very nice. That's all updates from me. And after this session, after the announcements, we will proceed with the regular Bhagavatam. Regular Bhagavatam in the sense, second canto, Chatushloki Bhagavatam. So that's all updates from me. And dear devotees, if you have got any other updates or you wanted to share anything on Krishna consciousness, kindly share before we move on to Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yes, Prabhu, there's 2 days, today and tomorrow, full of Prabhupada's Marathon 23. So it's the whole of the UK is a national festival, full day today and full day tomorrow at the manor. If anybody is able to come, it will be a real special celebration.
Mataji, any other updates?
Oh, Prabhu, can I just ask a simple question quickly? Yes, about the 1, 9 to 10? Is Bhishma different from Bhishma Dev? Because I think one of the sentence said about there's a difference between the two.
No, Mataji. Bhishma is the same Bhishma Dev.
Okay. That's what I thought anyway. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so any other updates?
Hare Krishna. So here, Prabhupada did not say anything about Narad Muni. So where you can find?
About Narada Muni?
Yeah.
Narada Muni, so in the Bhagavatam, we have already passed through that one. In the Bhagavatam,
Okay.
first canto, and at the end of chapter 4. So there we have seen Narada Muni appeared to the Vyasadeva when Vyasadeva has composed all his scriptures, but he was not happy. At that time, Narada Muni has come, and Vyasadeva received him. And then later on, there is conversations. Oh Vyasadeva, you have done all these things, but you did not glorify the Lord enough. And then you compose only that letter, which is meant for the Paramahamsas and for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Later on, Narada Muni explains about his pastime. And once upon a time, in the previous Brahma's day, he was son of maid servant. All things are in the 5th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yeah. No, yeah, I remember. Thank you.
Okay, so that is about Narada Muni. And there are so many things, all Puranas. Without Narada Muni, there are no Puranas. So that is the Narada Muni.
Even the demons also, he is also guru of.
Yes. He is our well-wisher of everyone.
Yeah. So everybody listened to him, even Kansa and like Hiranyakashipu and everybody.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, that's right.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. In here you mentioned like a Parshurama killed the Kshatriya 21 times. So what was the reason behind it to kill all the Kshatriyas, Prabhu? I don't know.
So Parashurama's his father is Jamadagni, and Parashurama's mother is Renuka Devi. So they have got a cow, a desire fulfilling cow. And once upon a time, there is a Kartavirya Arjuna. Kartavirya Arjuna, he is in the Haihaiva, the family dynasty. And Kartavirya Arjuna is the devotee of Dattatreya. So, and he was very powerful. So it is also mentioned, he was so powerful. He was the devotee of Dattatreya. When he was going in the forest exile, not exile, so in the forest for just for hunting and all those stuff. At that during the time, he come upon the hermitage of the Jamadagni and Renuka Devi. There, he observed that there is a cow, and which is the wish fulfilling cow. So she fulfills, like Vasistha Muni has got a cow Nandini, likewise Jamadagni also has got a cow. And then similar kind of thing here also, Kartavirya Arjuna asked for that cow, but Jamadagni doesn't want to give that one, but he forcibly take that one. And then later on, Parashurama, who is the son of, he has got 5 sons. Jamadagni has got 5 sons. He is the 5th son of Jamadagni. And then he went to Kartavirya Arjuna, and then he fought, and finally, so Kartavirya Arjuna here, how powerful Kartavirya Arjuna is, he has got 1,000 hands, and he could stop a river with his hands when he is sporting with all his women. And when Ravanasara was trying to go to that river, for his prayers to the Lord Shankara, he is to worship Lord Shankara's Shivalinga, and he could not see that river is not flowing anymore. So, and then he went upwards to see what happened. There, Kartavirya Arjuna, he stopped this river with his 1,000 hands when he is sporting. At that time, Ravanasara wanted to fight with Kartavirya Arjuna. But Kartavirya Arjuna, he simply took with his 1,000 hands this Ravanasara and put him in the prison. So as powerful as that, he could punish him. Later on, the Pulastya Muni has come and released Ravanasura from the Kartavirya. So such a powerful is the personality. So that Kartavirya now, he has taken cow from the Jamadagni Rishi. And now Parashurama has come there to take that cow back to release. At the time he faced that there is a fight between Parashurama and Kartavirya. So Parashurama, he killed the Kartavirya there in itself. And then he was, because Kshatriyas are meant to in the lower in the grade than the Brahmanas. But because of that, and then so anyway, so he killed him, and then he brought back the cow to the ashrama. So later on, Kartavirya's sons, when in the absence of Parashurama, when he was in the forest going for the firewood kind of stuff, collecting fruits. At that time, Jamadagni was in the hermitage in the meditation, and Renuka Mata also serving him in the home, something like that. At the time, the sons of Kartavirya, they have come and they killed the Jamadagni. So when they were killing, Renuka Mata was looking and with fearfulness, she called Kartavirya so many times, and her sons also not nearby, and she was calling Parashurama, but it was very late that Parashurama come home. By the time whatever has happened, and then Parashurama was so furious about these Kshatriyas. So the number of times that Renuka Mata called him and he could not come on time. So Parashurama took that one as a vow that from today, all these Dharmadandas, I will kill him that many number of times, roaming around the world, all the Kshatriyas, I will kill him. So he will take a vow. And then he goes then and he kills all the children of this Kartavirya, and whoever comes in the way, all the Kshatriyas, he is to kill him. Likewise, he roamed around the world. That is the Parashurama. And later on, he come to the place which is also Samantaka Panchaka, where he has performed a kind of a prashita for killing so many things. And then finally now, all this world is now in the hand of Parashurama. He just donated that one to Kashyapa Muni. So that is very beautiful pastime. And also whenever Sita Mata was also at the Swayamvara of Lord Ramachandra, during that time that after marriage has happened, and Parashurama also come to that place to see who is another Rama is here. And then he come in the mystic way. Parashurama come in the mystic way and then asked Lord Ramachandra. Lord Ramachandra is a Kshatriya, but he was not in the fighting spirit. It was the mood of marriage ceremony. There also, after hearing about Lord Ramachandra, who has killed previously some demons like Tataki demon and other demons who are disturbing the sages. After hearing that, Parashurama wanted to understand once again. Even though he is Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is seeing in another expansion of the Lord Ramachandra. So Lord Ramachandra, he is the Dharma personified. So as soon as he sees, and this Parashurama has got one bow, that is the Vishnu Chapa, and where Lord Ramachandra has broken the bow, that is the Sivadhanasu, Lord Shankara's bow. So these both were equivalently competent. So now Lord Ramachandra broke that bow. So now Parashurama wanted to understand who that person is, and then he got. So you have broken the Lord Shankara's bow. Can you hold this one? And Lord Ramachandra simply took with his hand, and then as soon as he took that one, Parashurama sees the original form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and then understands that okay, now so here two different personalities, Parashurama and Rama, Dasharatha Rama. So both are names of Parashurama means Parashu is the axe. Actually, his name is the Bhargava Rama or Rama. But because he is holding the Parashu or the axe, that's why he is called Parashurama. Many people. So that with that name he was famous later on. And then he understood that, and then he stopped killing all these Kshatriyas, and then he just retired from his Kshatriya duties. And Lord Ramchandra is now there. He will be ruling it the proper way as per the religious codes. That is a very beautiful pastimes, Parashurama, who has met Lord Ramchandra and who has met Krishna. And also, he has been there. He will be there until end of this Kali Yuga. So that is still he is there.
Oh, very nice. Thank you, Baba.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Baba.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so that is from Parashurama's perspective. We will explore these personalities when we are seeing in the Bhagavatam or different parts of the scriptures. Okay, so we shall move into Srimad Bhagavatam now. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are in the first shloka of the Chatushloki Bhagavatam. It's the second canto, chapter 9, verse number 33. Aham evasam nan yad sad asad param pashad aham idetacha yo avashishyeta sosmyaham. It's a very beautiful verse. I am the only one in the beginning. I am only the one what you are seeing, and I am the only one. Even though after you leave here, I will be only the one existed all the time. Likewise, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is saying to Lord Brahma. So Brahma asked about, oh my dear Lord, please tell me all about your pastimes, appearances and disappearances, how you maintain this universe and creation. Likewise, for all his questions, Lord is speaking, and he also blessed Lord Brahma that you understand all this by my mercy. Yavanaham yata bhavo yadrupa gunakarmakaha tataiva tattva vijnanam astute mad anugrahat. By my mercy, you will get all this knowledge. Yadrupa gunakarmakaha, my form, qualities, and activities. Now Lord is saying about the first verse. This is Brahma, it is I, the personality of Godhead, who was existing before the creation when there was nothing but myself, nor was there the material nature, the cause of this creation. That which you see now is also I, the personality of Godhead, and after annihilation, what remains will also be I, the personality of Godhead. This is Aham. This is Aham Evasam and Sosmyaham and Pashadaham. Aham Evasam Agre, that is in the beginning. Pashadaham, you are seeing me now, and then at the end, so Avashisheta, so Asmyaham. So 3 times Lord is saying, one is for the beginning, and then one is for the present, and one is after the annihilation. So it is the same, similar to the Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo Matta Sarvam Pravartate Iti Matva Bhajante Mam Bhuda Bhava Samanvitaha. That is the equivalent verse in the Bhagavad Gita. So in the last session, we have read 2 paragraphs of this purport. Okay, so we shall continue from the 3rd paragraph onwards. Okay, so can I request any dear devotees to take the turns? This is first paragraph. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. May I read?
Yes, Mataji, please.
In another feature of this verse, no one can deny There were personalities of both the Lord and Brahma. Therefore, in the ultimate issue, both the predominator and predominated are persons. This conclusion refutes the conclusion of the impersonalist that in the ultimate issue everything is impersonal. This impersonal future stressed by the less intelligent personalist school is refuted by pointing out that the predominator is the absolute truth and that he is a person. The predominated I, Brahma, is also a person, but he is not the absolute. For realization of oneself in spiritual psychology, it may be convenient to assume oneself to be the same principle as the absolute truth. But there is always the difference of the predominated and the predominator, as clearly pointed out here in this verse, which is grossly misused by the impersonalists. Brahma is factually seeing face to face his predominator Lord, who exists in his transcendental eternal form, even after the annihilation of the material creation. The form of the Lord, as seen by Brahma, existed before the creation of Brahma, and the material manifestation with all the ingredients and agents of material creation are also energetic expansion of the Lord. And after the exhibitions of the Lord's energy come to a close, would remain in the same personality of Godhead. There, the form of the Lord exists in all circumstances of creations, maintenance, and annihilation. The Vedic hymns confirm this fact is the statement Vasudeva va idam agram asna na brahmana cha sankara eko na narayana asena brahma nesana, etc. Before the creation, there was no except Vasudeva. There was neither Brahma nor Shankara. Only Narayana was there and no one else. Neither Brahma nor Ishana. Sripada Sankaracharya also confirms in his comments on the Bhagavad Gita that Narayana, or the personality of Godhead, is transcendental to all creation, but that the whole creation is the product of avyakta. Therefore, the difference between the created and the creator always there, although both the creator and created are of the same quality. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So in this one, it is very beautifully explained, Prabhupada. So the predominated and predominated. So the Lord is predominated and Brahma is predominated. So the living entities are always the servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So they're always predominated because they're servant, they must have a master. Master is the predominator. So that is Prabhupada is mentioning. So this is whenever in the Bhrutya, so this word has been mentioned number of times. So Bhrutya belongs to the Lord's associates and also the living entities. All except the Lord, everyone else. Ekala Ishvaraha Krishnaha. So and everyone else are Bhrutyas of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is where predominated and predominated. So this impersonal conception, so there is no basis for it. So otherwise we wouldn't have existed here. There is conversation means two people are there. That is what all Bhagavatam, Mahabharata and the sound vibration is coming means one person is saying, another person is hearing. Otherwise there is no one to recognize the sound. That is the question of existence of the Vedas itself. That is, there is no basis for impersonalism. Okay, so there is, we just need to understand from that point of view. And here Prabhupada is mentioning about the predominated and the predominator, and his Lord's very beautiful transcendental form. And it is the only, and Brahma is factually seeing face to face his predominator Lord, who exists in his transcendental eternal form, who is also giving his handshake with the Lord. So Brahma, he was like a very beautifully, he was saying, O mighty Lord, yavat saka sakyuriveshate krutaha. And you just acted just like a friend acted with another friend. Priyam Pritamana Pares Prushan. And the Lord touched Brahma just like a very with so much of love. With one person touches another person. So Brahma is personally saying here in the face to face, and they are talking. So there is no question of impersonalism. So the form of the Lord as seen by Brahma existed before creation of Brahma, and material manifestation with all the ingredients and agents of material creation are also energetic expansions of the Lord. This Panchapihi Brahma, Dasibihi Chaturbihi. These are the 5 tanmatras. Mahabhutani Panchaya, Bhurapor Agnir Marunabha, Tanmatrani Chitavanti, Gandhadini, Matanimi. All these 24 elements, Panchapihi Brahma, Chaturbihi Dasibihi Tada. So these are the 24 elements. Likewise, all the Jnanendriyas and Karmendriyas, they all come to the 20. And mind, intelligence, ego, and the Chittam. These are the 4 elements, plus the time factor, 25, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. These are all, but here whenever the Lord comes with the 16 elements, that is the Jagurihe Pursham Rupam Bhagavan Mahadadibihi Sambhotam Sodasakalam Ado Lokasisrukshaya Sambhotam Shodasakalam. This is the Shodasha, 16 elements. That is the Karanadak Sai Vishnu comes, or they are all expansions of the Lord. So there are, that is Prabhupada is mentioning about the energetic expansions of the Lord. They are material elements. And after the exhibition of Lord's energy comes to close, what remains in the same personality of Godhead? So therefore, so there is no place that Lord doesn't exist. So everything rests within the Lord. Everything. Mattah param nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. Everything is resting on the Lord only. So we also see that Lord's Virat Rupa, all these oceans and mountains, all big trees, everything is rest within the Lord's spiritual body, Virat Rupa. And the Lord enters into this universe along with all these energies, expansion, energetic expansions of the Lord. And from his body, all other demigods manifest. But out of all those things, Chittam is the very important thing, the top. That is the conscious. And also here, Prabhupada mentions the Vedic hymns confirms that this fact in the statement Vasudeva idam agra asi na brahma na cha sankarshana na cha sankara na cha shankara eko narayana asin na brahma na ishana, not even Brahma, not even Lord Shankara. So that is he's mentioning here, except the Vasudeva. This is also mentioned in number of places. Narayana is the only one. So this is we see in the Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu form in this universe, who is the source of all other incarnations within this universe. Ado Gurhitam Avatara Shateka Bijam Yennavi Padma Bhavanad Ahamavirasam. Ado Gurhitam Avatara Shataika Bijam, that is the Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, are also called Narayana. He is transcendental to all creation, but the whole creation is the product of Avyakta. And by the three material modes of nature and all these ingredients, the Pradhana. And whenever Lord enters, then there will be Bhagavad Virya Choritat, are called amalgamation. Then only there is the interaction of it between the earth, water, fire, and ether, and air, and all these things. Then things will manifest in the presence of the Bhagavad Virya Choritat. And the three material modes of nature, when they're getting agitated one after another, all these ingredients from the mode of goodness, mind comes, mode of passion, the intelligence manifest, and then from mode of ignorance, the sound vibration comes. That is where for the material creation, all the sound, and in order to accommodate sound, then the space creates the akasha, sky, and then because to perceive that, and then corresponding sense, that is the ears will be manifested. So one is the sound, sky, and ears, and later on from because through the sky there is a air manifest, and for the air there is a touch, and then air, and then for that the sense is the skin, and then later on for the rupa, the form, and because form, and then agni, and then eyes, we can see the eyes. That is the sequence. Later on in the fourth, the taste, and then water, and then the tongue. Later on, of the smell, and then the earth manifests, and then the nose. So likewise, all these 15 elements create one after another. All this is through Bhagavad Virya Choritat. Bhagavad Virya Choritat, one after another, they will be forming. Once these are all formed, and later on, the mind is there, which is created from the mode of goodness. Intelligence is there, which is created from the mode of passion. That is Tayisatu Vikurvana Buddhi Tattva Abhutsati Dravyaspurna Vijnanam Indriyanam Anugraha. That would give the knowledge for all the senses. That is mode of passion. So likewise, that is the nature. Material creation. So we are going into so these are all the creations of the Lord. In the beginning of the creation, only Lord Narayana is existed. Okay, so and then can I request other devotee so to read the next paragraph? Yes, Mataji, please.
The other feature of the statement is that the supreme truth of Bhagavan, or the personality of Godhead, and his kingdom have already been explained. The kingdom of Godhead is not void as collectivity, as conceived by the impersonalists. The Vaikuntha planets are full of transcendental, very grandens, including the four-handed residing of those planets with great opulence of wealth and prosperity, and there are even airplanes and other emittents required for high-grade personalities. Therefore, the personality of Godhead exists before the creation, and he exists with all transcendental, very greatness, or in the Vaikuntha's. In the Vaikunt Loks. The Vaikunt Loks were also accepted in the
Bhagavad Gita as being of the Sanatan nature are not inhalated even after the inhalations of the manifested cosmos. Those transcendental planets are of a different nature altogether, and that nature is not subject to the rules and regulations of material creation, maintenance, or inhalation. The existence of the personality of Godhead implies the existence of the Vaikuntha Lokas as the existence of a king implies the existence of a kingdom. Next.
And also next 2 lines.
And in various places in Srimad Bhagavatam and in the revealed scriptures, the existence of the personality of Godhead is mentioned. For example, in Srimad Bhagavatam 2.8.10, Maharaj Pariksit asked, Sat kapi yatra pusho viswasya udhya apyaha mukuntam mukta atma mayam mahisha seta sarva gunashaha. How does the personality of Godhead, the cause of creation, maintenance, and inhalation, who is always freed from the influence of the illusion, energy, and is the controller of the same, lie in everyone's heart? Similarly, also is a question of Viduras.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mataji. This is very beautiful purport. And Prabhupada is mentioning about the Lords and the transcendental variegatedness. We all see in the material world is a simple reflection of the spiritual world. Here, everything is temporary. We come here, we wanted to enjoy separately from Krishna. But it is the shadow or a reflection of the spiritual world. So here we see our home and the pets, the dogs, cats, and chicken, and everything is going on nice trees and very beautiful home surrounding by all transcendental atmosphere, tulasi and everything. So beautiful flowers. So this is a reflection of the spiritual world. Because in the spiritual world it existed, that's why it is also manifested on the earth for a temporary living bodies. Human society who are living here, they will also take the glimpse of it. But in the spiritual world, they are always existing. That is transcendental variegatedness. And including here, Vasantiyatra Purushaha Sarve Vaikunta Murtayaha Ye Animitta Nimittena Dharmena Aradayan Harim Yatra Chadhyapamanaste Bhagavan Shabdhakocharaha Sattvam Swanamno Mrudayan Rushaha यत्र नैश्रेषं नाम वनं कामदुगैः द्रुमैः सर्वतो श्रीभिः विभ्राजत् कैवल्यमिव मूर्तिमत्. This is very, very beautiful things to these Vaikuntha descriptions. And once Prabhupada is mentioning again and again, we are deriving those great pleasures by remembering those Vaikuntha planets. Vaimanikaha salalana charitani shashvat gayanti yatra samalakshapana शपनानि भर्तुः अन्तर्जले अनुविकसत् मधुमाधवीनां गन्धेन कण्डितधियोऽप्यनिलं क्षिपन्तः पारवतान्यन्यभृतसारसचक्रवाका दाचूतहंससुपतित्रिबर्हिणां यः कोलाहलो विरमति अचिरमात्रमुच्चैः भृङ्गादिपे हरिकथामिव गायन्ति मन्दारकुन्दकुरोत्पलचम्पकार्न पुन्नागनागवकुलाम्बुज पारिजाताहं गन्धे चिते तुलसिकाभरणेन तस्य यस्त्विं तपः सुमनसो बहुमानयन्ति Yat Sankulam Haripad Aniti Matra Drushtaihi Vaidurya Marakata Hemamayaihi Vimanayaihi Yesham Bruhatkalitataha Smitaso Vimuktyaha Krishnatmanam Naraja Adiduhu Usmayadhyaihi. That is so beautiful. Shri-rupini kvanayati charana-ravindam leelam-bhujen harisadmani-muktadhosham samlakshate spatika-kujja-upete-heni sammarjati-va yadanagrahane anyayatnaha vapish-vidhrima-tatasu amalamrutapsu preshya-nivita-nijavane tulasi-birisham abhyakshati-swalakamunna-samiksha-vaktram ucceshitam bhagavate-iti amatangai-srihi. So beautiful. This is the airplanes and all these the devotees of the Lord going with their concerts, singing nice glories, even though condemning the smell or fragrance coming from Malati flowers and such kind of mood. And the birds are also very good. They're absorbing, even though they're chirping with so many of things. When the bumblebees are doing with the Ucheshrava, the music, like zzz, kind of bumblebee sound, it is appearing like a Ucheshrava, the music, and it is like a Harikatamiva Gayamane. It is just like a Harikatha, and all other birds are stopped to hear that Harikatha. And there are all the so many flowers: Mandara, Kunda, Kurvat, Utpala, Champaka, Punnaga, Naga, Bakula, Ambuja. So all these things, even though such beautiful flowers exist, but they still worship the Tulasi Devi. She is more direct to the Lord. Istim tapaha sumanaso bahumanayanti. Because Tulasi Devi has done so much of austerities and penances. So all these flowers, they have got so much respect for Tulasi Devi. And everything, all this variegatedness, transcendental variegatedness, yes, Sankul Haripada Anati Matra Drishtaihi, just by the glance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vaidurya Marakata Hemamayehi Vimanayehi, all are with diamonds, jewels, and lapis lazuli, Vaidurya, Marakata, and this is the green sapphires and gold. All these airplanes and women are so beautiful, but the devotees of the Lord, they are not passionate about their beautiful wives. Krishnatmanam naraja adaduhu usmayadyahi. Even though their wives are so beautiful, but Krishnatmanam naraja, they are not passionate about their wives. They are always glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Gayanti yatra samala kshapanani battuhu. So they're always absorbed in that mood. That is the transcendental variegatedness, including the four-handed residents of those planets with great opulence of wealth and prosperity. And the airplanes, other amenities required for high-grade personalities. This is the beauty of the Vaikuntha planets. It existed all the time. And also, this is also mentioned, Avyaktokshara ityukta samahuhu paramam gatim yam prapya ninivartante tadhama paramam mama. This is Avyakta, so or Sanatana. It is also mentioned by Krishna. Tadhama paramam mama. And the transcendental planets are of a different nature altogether. So it is inconceivable for us. Even though, for example, when a person is living and immediately he leaves, we do not know where the soul is going out of the body. Where is that consciousness? We cannot see it. But here in front of us, we see the symptom of a dead and a living. And the dead is separated from the consciousness. We cannot see the consciousness here. But how can we understand the unlimited consciousness which is beyond this universe? It is very, very difficult for us. So we have to take it from the authorities. So here those planets are different nature altogether. That nature is not subjected to the rules and regulations of material creation, maintenance, or annihilation. So as long as there is material ingredients covering this, the consciousness with the mind, intelligence, and ego, and three material modes of nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance. On top of it, earth, water, fire, and space, and air, and all these things covering these five elements. It is wrapped up, and which is bound by the time. As soon as the clock is ticking, there is a one point starting point and ending point. But actually, this is your consciousness. Jaryati of Yakosham Nigirnamanaloyata. Yakosham. This is the subtle body is covered by this gross body, and also soul is covered by the subtle body. So these things will gradually be digested. We will get a original form when we are engaging ourselves in the devotional service of the Lord. So existence of the personality of Godhead implies the existence of the Vaikuntha Lokas, and the existence of a king implies the existence of a kingdom. We have got here, we call with so-called as a democracy, but there is a, in UK there is a king, it is called United Kingdom, and the king is, he is sitting in the Buckingham Palace, but he doesn't interfere with the democracy, but still he has got all his servants and everyone else. His position is higher, and even though when there is a conflict in the politics, if he likes, he can interfere. There is no question for him, but whether he interferes or not, it is up to him. He doesn't want to interfere into this politics, so he is separately situated in his palace. Of course, this is the material world which we can nearly comparable with. So, and also here Prabhupada is mentioning about the existence of the personality of Godhead is mentioned in different parts of the Srimad Bhagavatam and Puranas everywhere. And Parikshit is asking to explain all these things. And Sukadeva Goswami is going to explain this one. So this is what we have been hearing from Sukadeva Goswami saying to Parikshit. And also there is similarly is also question of Vidras. Can I request other devotee? So there are to read this shloka and the translation. So here Tatvanam Bhagavatam Stesham Katida Pratisankramaha Tatremam Ka Upasiran Kausvid Anuserate. So Sridhar Swami explains in this verse, during the annihilation of the creation, who serves the Lord lying on the Shesha, etc. This means that the transcendental Lord with all his name, fame, quality, and paraphernalia exists eternally. The same confirmation is also in the Kasi Kanda of the Skanda Purana in connection with Dhruva Charita. It is said that नचवन्तेऽपि यद्भक्ता महच्चं प्रलयापदि अतो अच्युतो अखिले लोके स एक सर्वगो अव्ययः. Even the devotees of the personality of Godhead are not annihilated during the period of the entire annihilation of the material world, not to speak of the Lord himself. The Lord is ever existent in all three stages of material changes. So this is the from the Skanda Purana with Dhruva Charita. So this is very beautifully explained. And then impersonalist. So can I request other devotee to read this paragraph? I shall read it.
I can read, Prabhu, if nobody's reading.
Yeah, sure,
I can
Mataji.
try, Prabhu. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. The impersonalist adduced no activity in the Supreme, but in this discussion between Brahma and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Lord is said to have activities also, as he has his form and quality. The activities of Brahma and other demigods during the maintenance of the creation are to be understood as the activities of the Lord. The king or the head of executive of a state may not be seen in the government office, for he may be engaged in royal comfort. Yet it should be understood that everything is being done under his direction and everything is at his command. The personality of God is never formless. In the material world, he may not be visible in his personal form to the less intelligent class of man, and therefore he may sometimes be called formless. But actually he is always in his eternal form in his Vaikuntha planets as well as in other planets of the universe as different incarnations. The example of the sun is very appropriate in this connection. The sun in the night may not be visible to the eyes of man in the darkness, but the sun is visible wherever it has risen. That the sun is not visible to the eyes of the inhabitants of a particular part of the earth does not mean that the sun has no form. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So here Prabhupada is mentioning once again comparing Brahma and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and also his activities and his form and quality. So Lord's activities are divyam, and whereas Brahma's activities we could see because they are with the material ingredients, which are the temporary basis, so which we can perceive with our eyes, but our eyes doesn't work even on independently unless it is accompanied with the sunlight or some other light. So this is the once again limitedness of the senses within this material world, because this material world is dark and the sun Lord has arranged sun to rotate around this planet to give light to all the living conditioned living entities. So he also rotates yad bhayat vati vatoyam suryahatapati yad bhayat varshati devo bhagano bhagati yad bhayat. And because the fear of the Lord, this wind is blowing and the sun is moving and the rains are falling, and even the bhagano bhati yad bhayat, all these stars and everything are glowing only for the this is why they are doing, because to give an opportunity to the conditioned souls to come and elevate themselves onto Krishna consciousness, thinking that they are not belonging to this material world. There is eternal sky. But because this sky, this material universe is dark, and Krishna arranged everything properly, putting all the rains are the seasons are changing on time, clock is going on time, the sun is moving on time, and all the planets see seasons, and so beautifully arranged. Everything is for our sake, and also not only those things, and also even the flowers. Yad vanaspatayo bhitaha, and all the products of this forest. Yad vanaspatayo bhitaha, latasha voshadibihi saha, and all these creepers, and all these herbs. Latasha voshadibihi saha. Swesve kale abhigruhnanti. In the timely manner, everything swesve abhigruhnanti. Pushpani cha phalani cha, even the flowers and fruits, they will be ripe on time. See everything with the Lord's arrangement. Shravanti Sarita Bhitaha. Even the rivers are flowing with the fear of the Lord. Shravanti Sarita Bhitaha Navutsarpati Udadiryataha. And this oceans doesn't cross the beach because with the fear of the Lord. Navutsarpati Udadiryataha Agnirinde Sagiribihi Bhuhu. And the Agni is blazing and the earth is having Sagiribihi Bhuhu. It is having so many big mountains and everything, oceans. It is carrying all these things. But still, Namajjati yad bhayat, Namajjati yad bhayat. It doesn't sink in the Garbhodaka ocean because the fear of the Lord. Namajjati, it doesn't sink. Even though it is carrying so many things on top of it, humans create so much of rubbish. It is very burden. But whenever humans are doing all these nonsense things, adharma, then it will be very burden to the Mother Earth. Not because of all these mountains, oceans, and all big things. So this is everything is going by the Lord's potencies with the fear of the Lord. And the sky is giving the space for all these planets to be situated. Nabho dadati swasatam. The sky is giving place to all these living entities. Swasatam padam yenniyamadadaha. And it is giving the place to all these planets. The sky with the fear of the Lord. Lokam swadeham tanute mahan saptibhiravritam. The Purusha is entering into this universe with the 7 coverings. And that is how everything is running. And in his body, all these upper planetary systems, bottom planetary systems, everything existed. We are in Virat Rupa, and it is covered by the Saptibhiravritam, earth, water, fire, and then earth, water, fire, air, and then space, mind, intelligence. So these are all the Saptabhiravritam, the 7 coverings. Each covering is the 10 times is big, thicker than the lower covering. And not only that, even the Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, Gunabhimano Devaha, Sargadishu, Asya Yad Bhayat, even they are fear of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. They are the fear of Supreme Personality of Godhead. What to speak of anything else? That is mentioned. Vattanti Anuyugam. Vattante Anuyugam. All the yugas, they are also going on time. Vattanti Anuyugam Yesham. Vashe etat sacharacharam. Everything under the control of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is giving all these descriptions with the ones Krishna says that everything is a maya jakshena prakriti suite sacharacharam. Hetunarayana kaunteya jagad viparivartate. Everything under my direction going very nicely and perfectly. But whenever we are going into Bhagavatam, what and all is happening, it is in day-to-day life, which we can perceive easily. These descriptions have been given. But everything have got a root in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So this is the activities of Brahma and other demigods during the maintenance of the creation are to be understood as the activities of the Lord. These are the activities of the Lord. So the king or the head executive of a state may not be seen in government offices. So we cannot see the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly unless we are qualified enough. So far, he may be engaged in royal comforts. Yet, it should be understood that everything is being done under his direction and everything is at his command. The personality of Godhead never formless. In the material world, he may not be visible in his personal form to the less intelligent class of men. And therefore, this is Naham Prakasya Sarva Na Yogamaya Samavritaha. He would not reveal himself to the foolish people and covered by Yogamaya. And therefore, he may sometimes be called formless. This is with the less intelligent people. This is a Tvayasta Bhavat Avishuddha Buddhayaha. But actually, he is always in eternal form. in his Vaikuntha planets. This is the Sachidananda Vigraha, as well as in other planets of the universe as different incarnations. So the example of the sun is very appropriate in this connection. The sun in the night may not be visible to the eyes of a man in the darkness, but sun is visible wherever it has risen. It is, we see, whenever the sun is in this country, UK, in another country, it is dark. Sun is always there, but it is our position where we are, whether we are in the light, sunlight or not. That is the question. So that does not mean that the sun has no form. So there is sunlight, and we are perceiving this heat and cold and all this stuff, heat and light. And when we go nearer to, like we see Prabhupada gives the analogy of the forest. The forest is a very far distance, it is a hazy cloud. When we go nearby, we see something green. When we go further, we see the trees. And we go enter into it, we see there are so many living entities. The elephants are going, tigers, deers, and lions, and so many things. And we go further, there are so many rats. The so much material variegatedness. So here Prabhupada is giving analogy of the sun, and also in another context giving the analogy of the forest. And Hare Krishna.
So all the planet and everything come under the sky, like under the sky, even
Yes.
like the planet and everything.
Yes, within this universe, under this sky, there is, after this universe, there is another universe. It also has got a sky, and also inside that. So that is material skies. So this is like this one. This is the universe, and here it is covered by the Saptaviravartam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. First is the earth layer, next one is the water layer, and fire, air, ether, false ego, and Mahatattva. This is the
Ego. Why is ego is like form of ego? What that means?
so ego, which is the main basis for the living entity to think himself separate and enjoy himself separately from Krishna. That's why he is covered by the Mahatattva, the material ingredients. If he is free from ego, that he is a servant of the Lord and he doesn't belong to any of these material things, he wouldn't be in this material world.
Yeah.
So like our body is covered by some kind of ego. I mean, the soul is covered by, every person has got kind of ego. That is what we can see also in this universe. Same reflection like our body. Our body is covered with earth.
Have ego, then they will not in a material life. You mean like that?
Sorry, Mataji, could you please repeat?
Once you don't have any false ego or anything, they will not be in the material in planet. It's like that.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. So there is a false ego and there's other ego as well, like false ego. What that?
Yeah, false ego means this is aham, this is I am, this is aham mameti. Because aham mameti iti etasmin yojitastvaya. This is by the Lord's deva mohitaha. By the illusion, we fall into this condition because our desire, trying to bhokta, trying to enjoy separately from Krishna. But actually, good ego means, the true ego means Bhritya. We are the servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That nature is always eternal. For a living entity, that nature is always eternal. Either we are in the spiritual world or in the material world, we are always a servant whom we need to be serving. That is our choice. Do I need to serve the Lord? Then I will be in the Vaikuntha planets or Goloka. If I wanted to serve Maya, the material ingredients, this earth, water, fire, and all these things are three material modes of nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. Then we accept some kind of material body and serve. Either I serve a dog or some other master, or I can choose if I wanted to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his pure devotees. When we serve him and his pure devotees, that is devotional service. Once again, path to the blissful life, going back to Godhead. If we try to serve these material people who are like swavit viraha ushtakarehi samstaha purushaha pasuhu naitkarma patopejo jatunama gadagrajaha, they are like a dogs. Swavit viraho, stool eating pig. Swavit a dog, and ushtakarehi, a camel which is eating the thorny fruits and getting the blood from its tongue itself and feeling it that is a taste for him. And the donkey who is carrying lots of weight on top of him, thinking that this master is going to give a morsel of grass. So these are all such kind of people. They glorify the materialistic people. Or this person is very good, doing very nice. He's a good politician. His actor is doing very nice. He's so beautiful. They glorify such kind of. That is materialistic nature. They're compared like that. That is
What?
false ego.
Ether. What's the name? What is the ether?
And this Mataji,
Sorry. It said false ego, and under that is ether. Ether.
yes, this is ether.
What that do? What is that role?
So here, ether personified worships Aniruddha. So if you see here, ether personified worships Aniruddha. Aniruddha is the mind. Mind is the he's also called Krishikanam Adishwaram. Aniruddhakyam Yadahuhu Aniruddhakyam Krishikanam Adishwaram Sarad Indivarashyamam Samradyam Yogibihi Sanaihi. And he is the Aniruddha, mind. Is the deity for the mind, Aniruddha, one of the expansion of the Chaturvyuha. So here if we see Vasudeva, Sankashana, Aniruddha and Pradyumna, these four expansions of the Lord, they are covering. And Mahatattva, false ego, ether and air. So here the false ego, it is covered. And then Vasudeva is the Mahatattva personified worships Vasudeva. Because what is Vasudeva? Yattat swacham yattat sattvam swachatvam syantam bhagavataha padam yadahuhu vasudevakyam chittam tad mahadatmakam. Chittam tad mahadatmakam, the pure consciousness which is the soul of the Mahatattva. Chittam tad mahadatmakam. So that's why Mahatattva person, it worships Vasudeva. Vasudeva is the soul of the Mahatattva. And then Sankashana is the false ego. Sahasra Sirsham Sakshat Yam Anantam Prachakshate Sankashanakyam Purusham Bhutendriya Manomayam. And he is the one who makes one that you are this body, you are these senses, like that. It is called false ego. And that false ego for the deity is the Sankashana. And false ego personified worships Sankashana. Here, Lord Shankara worships Sankashana. The Lord is the, Lord Shankara is the ego of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then further, air, the air personified worships Pradyumna. So this is once again intelligence. And then further, the fire personified worships Surinarayana, and water personified worships Lord Matsya, and earth personified worships Lord Varaha. So these are very beautiful descriptions. But actually, we could reflect all kind of these universal manifestations within our body as well. How?
How this worship, like, I didn't understand this. What was if I worship Lord Varaha? What that exactly? Why he said worship?
So Earth personified worships Lord Varaha. Varaha Deva,
Mhm.
whenever that Earth was sinking in that Garbhodaka waters, and
Yeah.
previously their demonic people or some other the annihilations of this world, the timely manner, whenever this Bhumandala was sunken in the Garbhodaka waters at that time, Varahadeva appears and lifted it.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's why goddess Bhudevi is concept of Lord Varahadeva.
So, like false ego personified worship Sankarsana, which is Balaram, isn't it? Like Sankarsana.
Sankarshana, yes, Sankarshana is the expansion of Balaram, or he is also sometimes called Sankarshana, yes. And Lord Shankara, whenever he worships Sankarshana, Lord Shankara worships Sankarshana.
Lord Sankara worships Sankarsana was the like false ego, and then Sankar.
So Lord Shankara, he worships Sankarshana, so that is mentioned because in his prayers, Lord Shankara to the Supreme Personality of Godhead glorifies that, "Oh my dear Lord, I am your ego." When there was a fight between Banasura and Krishna, because of the Aniruddha's and Usha's marriage or their love affair, uh, at the time, Lord Shankara also come into fight with Lord Krishna. And then within that fight, after the fight was over, Lord Shankara was defeated, and Lord Shankara was asking, "Oh my dear Lord, please give shelter to this Banasura. He is my devotee, and I am your ego." Likewise, Lord Shankara says to Krishna, "I am your ego." There are part and parcels of Krishna. So
Aniruddha is a son of the Krishna, isn't it?
yeah, that Aniruddha is in this material world. Here, this Aniruddha, it is the spiritual form, and both are representing here whenever Krishna appears under Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha in his family. We see in the Dwaraka.
Yeah, it's really nice chart. It's really good.
Yes, Mataji. So everything in the spiritual world, we see that reflections in the material world in a way that whenever Krishna appears, it is sometimes bewildering.
Mm.
Vasudeva Sankarshana, Aniruddha and Pradyumna. It is Krishna's family here in the Dwaraka. And with all his paraphernalia, everyone are there. Ugrasena was there, and Uddhava, many other paraphernalia. Still it is there. And here in Bhagavatam it is mentioning about the spiritual world, Vasudeva Sankrishna and Aniruddha and Pradyumna. Some other the mental speculators they think that it is kind of a they do not understand Lord's past tense. Janma karma che me divyam evam yo veti tatpataha. They are the divyam transcendental. People will fall into bewilderment. They cannot understand all these things, whether it is real or not. It is Lord's, it would cover their intelligence. Either whenever they're thinking like that, the time is clicking on their body, they would not have their body in due course of time. If they do not come to conclusion that Supreme Personality of Godhead is the only person and everything is else is manifestations. That he has to come to an understanding and conclusion quickly. Then he will make rest of his life perfectly in his engage himself in the devotional service. Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sabahatma Sudurlabaha.
When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, they also somehow they were there. Isn't Sankarsana, which is Nityananda, like that.
Yes. And once again, recently, 500 years ago, it is again wonderful thing. It is, we cannot understand with our material intelligence and mind. We need to hear from the acharyas, gurus. Then only we understand little bit and little bit. And by the time, if we understand as soon as possible, it is good. Otherwise, our body become old and we cannot understand our intelligence. Everything energy will be the vital force of this material body would be the energy of this material body would be reduced. We cannot understand later on. So we need to cultivate that one as soon as possible, thinking that we don't have much time left.
Prabhuji, you remember so many sloka and everything. It's so nice. It's no different than God Himself, like, remember the sloka and everything.
So this is Prabhupada's explanations. Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami is explaining to Parikshit Maharaj. Kapiladev is explaining to Devhuti. All these are explained very nicely, so beautifully. So just only thing is whether I am taking shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam to understand, and am I doing my chanting and coming on time to the japa sessions and attending Mangalarati, associating with the devotees. There are so many obstacles in the material life, job and family things, material things, so many things. They will stop us, block to hear Bhagavatam. But somewhere or other, we have to make an endeavor. There are all exceptions, but we cannot say anything on it. Every person has got a different background, family circumstances. Sometimes health may not be proper. Sometimes the family members are troubling, job is troubling. This is called tapatrayas, three kinds of miseries. Adi Daivik, Adi Bhautik, Adi Adhyatmik. Internal to the body, external to the body, and natural calamities. So many ways. So many ways.
Human life is a dukhalaya.
Yes. तस्यावलोकम् अधिकं कृपयाते घोर तापत्रयोपशमनाय निसृष्टमक्ष्णोः स्निग्धस्मितानुगुणितं विपुलप्रसादं ध्यायेत् विपुलभावनया ध्यायेत् चिरं विपुलभावनया गुहायां. We have to come in front of the Krishna's glance. तस्यावलोकम् अधिकं कृपयाते घोर तापत्रयोपशमनाय निसृष्टमक्ष्णोः. And whenever Krishna sees, when we are in all his miseries, all our these things will be, tapatrayas will be subsided. And his glance is snigdha smithanugunitam vipula bhavana. His, that is very, very beautiful. We have to keep ourselves in front of the Lord in his merciful glance. That's all. We cannot see the Lord by our material eyes, but Lord can see us when we put ourselves in front of the Lord, when we are doing some devotional service somewhere or other. The Lord is seeing Angani Sakalendri Uttimanti Pasyanti Panti Kalayanti Chiram Jaganti Ananda Chinmay Saljula Vigrahasya Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. The Lord is seeing us, but what is our mood? Bhavagrahi Janardana. So likewise, Prabhupada is very beautifully explaining. Actually, he is always in his eternal form, in his Vaikuntha planets, as well as in other planets of the universes, as different incarnations. And this exam analogy is given very beautifully. Okay, so there are further. So we shall read one more paragraph and then we shall stop there. So can I request other devotee to read this paragraph?
Can I read that?
Yes, Mataji, please.
In the Brahma, in the Brahmad Aryan Puran, there is the hymn Atmadeva Agra Asta Purusha Vidaha. This mantra indicated that the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, even before the appearance of the Purusa incarnation in the Bhagavad Gita 15.18, it is said that Lord Krishna is Purushottama because he is the Supreme Purusha. Translated even to the Purusha Akshara and the Purusha Akshaya. Purusha Akshaya and the Purusha Akshaya. The Akshara Purusha or the Mahavishnu thrones his glance over Prakriti or material nature, but the Purushottama existence even before that. The Brahmad Aryanka, the Upanishad therefore confirmed the statement of the Bhagavad Gita that Lord Krishna is the supreme person Purushottama. In the sum of the Vedas, it is also said that the beginning only in the impersonal Brahma exists. However, according to this was the impersonal Brahma, which is the glowing influence of the body of the Supreme Lord, may be called the immediate cause, but the cause of all causes, or the remote cause, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord's impersonal feature is exist in the material world because by material sense or material eyes the Lord cannot be seen or perceived. One has to spiritualize the sense before one can expert to see or perceive the Supreme Lord, but he is always engaged in his personal capacity, and he is eternal visible to the inhabitants of Vaikuntha face to face. Therefore, he is materially impersonal, just as the executive head of the state may be impersonal in the government office, although he is not impersonal in the government house. Similarly, the Lord is not impersonal in his abode, which is always nirstha pohakan, as stated in the very beginning of the Bhagavatam. Therefore, both the impersonal and the personal feature of the Lord are acceptable as mentioned in the revealed scripture. The personality of Goddess is very emphatically explained in the Bhagavad Gita in connection with the very Brahmana, his Rikshitam. Bhagavad Gita 14.27. Therefore, in all ways, the confidential part of spiritual knowledge is realized of the personality of Godhead. In personal Brahman features, one should therefore have his ultimate aim of realization not in the impersonal feature but in the personal feature of the absolute truth. The example of the sky within the pot and the sky outside the pot may be helpful to the student for his realization of the all preventing quality of the cosmic consciousness of the absolute truth. But that does not mean that the individual part and parcel of the Lord becomes the supreme by false claim. It means only that the conditional soul is a victim of the illusory energy in her last smear. To claim to be one with the cosmic consequences of the Lord is the last trapeze by the illusory energy or Devi Maya. Even in the impersonal existence of the Lord as it is in the material creation, one should aspire for personal realization of the Lord, and that is the meaning of prasad aham. Praskad aham yad itha chayo Vaishnavata so me aham.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So this is Pashadaham Yedetacha Yo Avashisheta Sospiham. This is the second line of the shloka that we are reciting. Very beautifully recited, read Mataji. So beautiful. Thank you so much. So here in this further, Prabhupada is bringing this descriptions from the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. So this hymn, Atmaivedam Agra Asit Purusha Vidaha. So this mantra indicates Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna even before the appearance of the Purusha incarnations. So this is, we know Krishna is in the Goloka, and from the Brahmavayata Purana, it would very easily understandable way gives for even for people in the mode of ignorance, passion, and goodness for everyone. Krishna is in the Goloka and he expands himself like Narayana, Lord Shankara, Brahma, Dharma, and then all mother goddess of Durga and Lakshmi Devi, Saraswati, they all manifested from the Krishna only. So later on, Mahavishnu also was coming from the Radharani. So Radha Devi, then he was kept into the casual ocean where he expands further from whose body Yah Karnana Jalve Bhatispayoga Nidra Mananta Jagadanda Saroma Kupaha Adara Shaktim Avalambya Param Sumurtim Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami, and from whose with a single breath all these annihilations and creations, everything happens. That one is only one expansion of Krishna. One Kala Visheshu. So that Krishna existed, and this before the Mahavishnu. That is before appearance of the Purusha incarnations. There are Karnodaka Sai Vishnu is the first Purusha, second one is the Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, and next one is the Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu. 3 Purushas, and there is also Virat Purusha. So who expands himself as the spiritual body, within whose body all his mountains, everything, oceans situated within his body. So, but even he has got that spiritual form, but he is spiritually existed in his planets. Goloka eva siti akilatmam bhuto govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. These are all his Purusha expansions, but still he is in the Goloka with all his paraphernalia. And Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, this is the 15.18. Very beautifully says, Yasmaksharam atitoham akshiradapi chottamaha atosmi loke vedeta prititaha purushotamaha. Because I am transcendently beyond both the fallible and infallible, and because I am the greatest, I am celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas as that supreme person. So beautifully says. So that is Purushottama. So and here also Purusha Akshara and Purusha Kshara. This is Purusha means enjoyer. Akshara is the infallible. And Purusha Kshara is the fallible enjoyer. That is the material bodies, humans like that. And Akshara Purusha Mahavishnu throws his glance over Prakriti or the material nature, but the Purushottama existed even before that. The Brihadaranyaka Upanishad therefore confirms the statement of the Bhagavad Gita that Lord Krishna is the supreme person, Purushottama. That is, the entire chapter is, 15th chapter is Purushottama Yoga. And the Lord, he throws his glance here, and in the Karnal Sai Vishnu is here, and he is the one, whenever he is glancing on the Rama Devi is always in concert with the Karnal Sai Vishnu. And then the shadow of Rama Devi is the Maya or Durga Devi. It is, and who is the concept of the Shambhu. And then with that glance, this material universe further, it will be running with the time factor. And Durga Devi is associated with the Lord through the time factor. So that one here, Mahavishnu throws his glance over Prakriti or material nature, but the Purushottama existed even before that. So that is about that picture. So in the further, Prabhupada is bringing some more descriptions. So we'll quickly wind up this one. Some Vedas, it is also said that beginning only the impersonal Brahman existed. In the beginning, impersonal Brahman existed. However, according to this verse, impersonal Brahman, which is the glowing effulgence of the body of the Supreme Lord, may be called the immediate cause. But the cause of all causes or the remote cause is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So even Vedas, they are not sufficient. So Krishna in the 15.15, Krishna says, Aham sarvasya, what is that verse? Vedasya sarver ahameva vedyo vedanta krud veda videva chaham. I am the compiler of the Vedas. I am only the one to be known by the Vedas. So that is the Vedas. And here, those Vedas, they give just only impersonal conception. They give only indication of it. But entering into the impersonal Brahman, the Vaikuntha planets, the variegatedness, and into the Vaikuntha planets, there the Lord and all his associates, that is further. Even Vedas cannot glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when their Vedas are glorifying the Krishna, it is very beautiful prayers of Srimad Bhagavatam. But Vedas in this material world, they will give based on the condition. So Shankaracharya has given this kind of Mayavada philosophy too. But even at the end, he was Eko Shastram Devaki Putra Geetam, Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva, Eko Mantra, Tasya Namanyani, Karma Pekam, Tasya Devasya Seva. Only his devotional service, only his mantra, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and only one scripture, that is Bhagavad Gita, which defines all this Brahman and Paramatman, Supreme Personality of Godhead, and establishes Krishna as Supreme Person. There is nothing else. That is Srimad Bhagavad Gita. It is already said. And Shankaracharya accepted that one. Ekam Shastram, Devaki Putra Geetam, Eko Deva, Devaki Putra Eva. That is Krishna. And the Lord's impersonal feature is existed in the material world because by material senses or materialized, Lord cannot be seen or perceived. So one has to spiritualize the senses before one can expect to see or perceive the Supreme Lord. He is always engaged in his personal capacity, and he is eternally visible to the inhabitants of Vaikuntha Loka, face to face. This is face to face, like Brahma is seeing the Lord. So one can see the Lord face to face very beautifully. I don't know. It is beyond our descriptions, glorification. That is the beauty of the Lord. And therefore, he is materially impersonal, or just as the executive head of the state may be impersonal in the government offices, although he is not impersonal in the government house. Similarly, the Lord is not impersonal in his abode, which is always Nirastakuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi. This is from the Bhagavatam, the first one, Nirastakuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi. in the beginning of the Bhagavatam. Therefore, both the impersonal and personal features of the Lord are acceptable as mentioned in the revealed scriptures. And Krishna says, this is in connection with the verse, Brahmano hi pratistaham amrutasya aviyasya cha shashvatasya dharmasya sukasya aikantikasya cha. That Brahman is also, for that I am the only basis. And this is what Vedas mentions, only that Brahman light. Krishna is the basis for that Brahman light. Therefore, in always the confidential part of the spiritual knowledge is realization of the personality of Godhead and not his impersonal Brahman feature. And so one should therefore have his ultimate aim on the Lord's personal feature of the absolute truth. The example of the sky within the pot and the sky outside the pot may be helpful to the student for his realization of all-pervading quality of the cosmic consciousness of absolute truth. But that does not mean that the individual part and parcel of the Lord becomes the supreme by a false claim. It means only the conditioned soul is a victim of the illusory energy in her lost snare. To claim to be one with the cosmic consciousness of the Lord is the last trap set by the illusory energy or Daivi Maya. This is Tasmadimam Swam Prakritim Daivim Sad Asadatmikam Durivibhavyam Parabhavya Surupen Avatistate. Once he understands Tasmadimam Swam Prakritim, what kind of nature he belongs to, Daivim Sad Asad Atmikam, and the Lord is the soul of all this material and cosmic manifestation, then he will come across Dhrivibhavyam Parabhavya Swarupena Avatistate. He will situate himself in the Swarupa, that he is in the spiritual body, not to the material body. So that is, otherwise it will be illusory energy, Daivi Maya. In the Daivi Maya, even though he is rotting in this material world, Narakastyopi vai Narakastyopi Deham vai Napuman Tyaktumityati. He doesn't want to live even this hellish condition of life. Napuman Tyaktumityati Narakyapi Nirutam Satyam Daiva Moha Vimohitaha Daivi Maya Vimohitaha. Because either he is in a dog body or even the insect body and or a human body or a aquatics body, a bird body, anything, they do not want to live, even it is hellish condition. Even always they try to protect themselves. Because Napuman Chaktu Michati, he doesn't want to leave. Whatever the condition of the situation, he enters, he doesn't want to leave. That is his false ego. That is his strong attachment with the material nature, but he is separate from the material universe. So likewise, Prabhupada is explaining very beautifully. So one should not claim that I am the God, I am the enjoyer, I am the Bhokta, like that. It is Krishna is the enjoyer, Krishna is the Purusha. We are all the servants of the Supreme Lord, and our propensity is only to serve. If we do not serve Krishna, we have to serve in offices or somewhere else, some other materialistic person or a dog. If we don't find anyone, I need to serve a dog or a cat. So it is better to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his devotional service according to the will of the Lord. Like Krishna says, gives all the instructions in the Bhagavad Gita. You work only for me. Manmanabha madbhakto madhya jivim namaskuru. Mam yevashisi yuktayo atmanam matparayanaha. On the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita gives the step by step. If you do like this, if you can't do it, and engage yourself in my work. If you can't do it, you relieve from all your results of your work. And if you can't do that, then engage yourself in cultivation of the knowledge. And then better than the knowledge is the meditation. Better than that is the surrendering oneself to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So likewise, he gives so many steps for the conditioned souls. So likewise, Prabhupada is giving explanation to this verse. This is the aham evasam evagre nanyad yad sad asat param pasyadaham idetacha yo avashishyeta so asmiham. Very beautiful explaining. So that is, we stop here. Krishna says, I am the only one, the Supreme Personality of Godhead says. There is further in this one, there is one more paragraph. We shall continue in the next Saturday's session. I stop here and I request dear devotees, if you have got any questions or any additions, any comments, so kindly share. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhu. Thank you so much for explanation, and that's nice and taking your time and then explain everything. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Krishna.
How do we know that we have surrendered? Like, how can we know serving Krishna or surrender?
Yeah, so this one, how do we know how we have surrendered ourselves to Krishna or not? It depends on, it would be exhibited the way we speak, the way we act, through our actions, and the way we think, exhibiting in the thoughts, the words, and the activities, where one can directly perceive. In the thoughts, am I thinking about so this is all internal to the mind. Am I thinking of the Lord all the time, like Lord says, Tasma Sarveshu Kaleshu Mamanasmarjita? Am I doing that one? That is first question. Second thing, speaking. Am I speaking only Krishna Katha, or am I talking with, when I'm meeting with another devotee, asking about her personal circumstances, what her duty or work and all those things, or what are you talking with your husband, what are you talking with that woman? Am I talking that kind of prasanga, material prasanga, or I'm talking about only Krishna Katha? That is second question. And the activities, because we are in the material body, we have to maintain this material body. That is the duty. Swadharma acharanam sektya. Am I working according to my position and my ability? And then, apart from my duty, am I engaging myself in the devotional service, reading of the scriptures, hearing of Bhagavatam, and book distributions, and telling others to chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and come to our Sangha, and likewise, somewhere or other engaging in the devotional service, and also going to the temple, Mangalacharan prayer, Mad Darshana Sparsha Puja Suti Abhivandanaihi, Bhuteshu Mad Bhavanaya Satven Asangamena Cha. Am I doing that one? I'm going to the temple and associate with the like-minded people and worshipping the highly elevated devotees, and showing mercy towards the neophyte devotees, and seeing the Lord in all the living entities, and treating everyone in the equal vision. Am I exhibiting these qualities? Then we understand whether I have surrendered myself unto Krishna's lotus feet or not. So that kind of surrenderingness, it needs Manushanam Sahreshu Kashit Jatati Siddhaye Yatadamapi Siddhanam Kashit Mam Veti Tatpataha. Very few people will take that opportunity. Though Chaitanya Mahaprabhu come and giving all this love, how many people are taking advantage of it? That we can practically see it. And instead of going anywhere else, we need to reflect in ourselves. Am I taking that opportunity? Am I utilizing this moment? That we need to put that question.
Very nice. Thank you, Rose. Very nice. We'll try.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So these are the personal reflections. No one can say, I cannot say, Mataji, you are not coming to this session, you are not doing this one. I cannot say that one because these are personal reflections. No one is the judge for other devotee. Only one person is the self. Until one harms himself, no one can harm that person. No external ingredient would come and harm any living entity unless he himself harms himself. It is also mentioned in the scriptures. So one cannot judge other one because no one knows the other circumstances. We only say what is happening right now. We ask devotees, do you have time and available and you are happy? These are the things we ask. We do not force anyone. We only ask whether you are able to or whether it is possible. That's all. And everything is personal reflections, personal choices. So that way one understands he would gradually elevate himself step by step. Nothing will come everything at once, step by step, gradually understanding those things and digesting those things. Somewhere or other I have to commit. Then everything will come into one big picture. We see where we are within that big picture.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you for your timing and so much giving us explain all this. So nice.
Yeah, this is the devotees when attentively hearing, even those words, Lord make those words to come through the speaker. So that's all. Nothing. No one is knowing anything. It is Lord is giving that kind of things whenever the correct audience are there. Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, so any other questions, or we shall conclude and continue with further japa? Okay, so वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः
Anantakoti
Koti
Vishnu
Vishnu Bhakti
की
Ki
जय
Jai,
श्रील
Srila
प्रभुपाद
Prabhupada
की
Ki
जय
Jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Conscious
Prabhu.
everyone. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda